Here we go again. We watching Seven Kingdoms. I'm about to go hard. Here we go again. Game of Thrones. Oh my God. Here we go again. We got a kid named Egg, and you got to go hard. Here we go again. We got the kingdoms and the gods going on hard. Here we go. Okay. Let's quit playing Afro Tech Nation. It's your boy. Let's time to hang out, wild out, chill out, and do that thing. Yes, the energy is real. The game is real. We got the Superman shirt, but we going back to the Middle Earth. Let's do what we do, because I come from me, you, and the crew. Now pull up, Pony.
The number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
Yeah, trendsetter, whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit it dead center, hit it dead center. Bullseye, hit it the most, there's no misses. Something like fish in a barrel, it's no different. Blindfold on me, I still got the most vision. Trendsetter told them before, but they don't listen.
Afro Tug Nation. It's your boy T3 Geek Town. Let's get down for the clown. But before we do that, pay these bills. Like, subscribe, share, comment, talk to your boy. Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Thank you everybody that subscribes and come check out with your boy. 3 away from 300. Go tell your mama, go tell your friends that we are here for you, to take you throughout all of Geek Nation and geek culture, to try to give you a perspective of a real geek's thought process and how we get down on that. So here we are watching Game of Thrones, the Seven Kingdoms, and the story of Duncan the Tall and his squire Egg. Egg actually being a Targaryen and will one day sit on the Iron Throne. But this is how everybody gets to where they're be. What is the legacy? What is the story about? What is everything? Why is this such a hype piece right here? Well, if you watch the Game of Thrones, not the Seven Kingdoms, but if you watch the original Game of Thrones, you know the Meister, the man. I have the lineage sitting right here. These are the brothers that are all a part of Leg's legacy and lineage and their father and who they are. Well, if you watch the third brother, he is the Meister that sits in the he took the black. He sits in the iron place of where it's cold and ice to keep us protected from the walkers. Yes, the ice walkers that were in here. He is one of the folks that was supposed to sit on the crown, that the lineage of the Seven Kingdoms, and he didn't want it. He was like, man, I just want to go sit and do my thing. He had one brother who was considered crazy, who had what is called dragon dreams, and that would be the not the oldest, but the second brother, and so his dreams was coming to fruition. He would see the future, but they thought he was crazy, because at this time and point, it is 80 years past the war in which we are watching with the House of Dragons, and about 90 years before we get into the Game of Thrones saga. So this is like a midpoint, and then you also have the Sir Duncan the Tall, who is related to the behemoth of a woman in the Game of Thrones, who was a knight herself, one of the only female knights that you will ever see in the House of Dragon, who was holding it down. Knight Bree up in this game, and she was assigned to Arya Stark, who became one of the greatest Starks next to Jon Snow. But what are we following? We're following how Sir Duncan the Tall became Sir Duncan the Tall, the man, the myth, the legend. We're also finding out, how did Egg end up becoming the next king on the Iron Throne, because at that point his lineage was way down, which means a lot of things that had to happen for him to get to the Iron Throne, for him to become the next king. Folks had to die, people had to leave. One brother had to get to go take the black and take the oath of not becoming the Night's Watch, and you don't know all these things, I want to say, until like season 6 of Game of Thrones, when you find out that he's Targaryen, that Jon Snow's Targaryen, that Egg is Targaryen. You know what I'm saying? Like how he was connected to all of this. This is why Egg is bald, because the mother shaved his head so that he would not know of his Targaryen lineage, because not all Targaryens were known for their kindness, for their love, for their meekness. They were known as savages, and people hated them for what they did, especially with the war, because a lot of people's going to die. Understand that when the dragons go to war, and this family, because it's a family feud, that's what this is all going down. It's a family feud, and people are going to die in this family feud, a lot of folks are going to be burned to ash. So they don't have a reputation of being great and glorious people by the people, and rightly so, based on what goes down in this war that I want to say that should be the final season 3. Maybe they'll stretch it out to season 4 of House of Dragons, and how everything goes down. We're going to see how the fate of all of Egg's brothers, how did they get passed over for the Iron Throne? How did he become one of the greatest kings that they had? And I want to say the last Targaryen king that was there before Baratheon, who you meet dancing in the halls, not him, but his lineage of how he becomes in the hall and how he ends up killing what is considered the Mad King and taking the throne of the Iron Throne and marrying Cersei and her son and all the rest of the things and the Lannisters and how that came about and all the things that came, the different things. And then you meet Drago, who ends up marrying the Queen of Dragons, the Mother of Dragons, and how she ends up taking the Game of Thrones, and then Jon Snow ends up killing her because he was seeing another tyrant come into play, and he is banished to the far nights and all the realms, and his sister ends up taking the throne, and all the rest of this. Like, it's all connected. But the question is, how do I feel about this series? How do I feel? I only watched one episode. I know there's 3. I only watched one, and we found it wanting. Yes, I am not impressed. I am not over excited. I am not over enthusiastic to finish and watch this series. I will watch it. It is Game of Thrones, and by far, I'm going to get down on it. It is just not going to be in my high priority of things to watch. I have Fallout I need to catch up on. I have the Darian incident that I need to keep up with. Heck, I need to watch Percy Jackson and finish that joint off on Disney Plus, let alone the last 2 episodes of Wonder Man. So it does not fall into the high priority of things. You know what? I will finish that, and then I will finish out The Last of Us. And then I will be caught up on most of what I need to watch, and then we'll jump into Twisted Metal. But here we are. This is what we're at. This is what we're doing. I wanted to give you an indication of what we're watching, what is supposed to be going down, what are we excited about. If you're watching it, tell me what you think. Tell me your thoughts. If you're caught up, don't give me a spoiler, but at least be like, yo, it gets better, or it's just about the same all the way across the board. Yes, it is a lighter notion because it's going to be more comedic than the Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones is a very dark show. It's very heartbreaking. Like, you're not going in there with joy and happiness. But I mean, the pain and suffering that we're getting ready to ensue and watch, I'm pretty sure this is going to go at least 2 seasons, because you got to get to a point to where Egg eventually takes the throne. The same way they're going to up the series as they did with the House of Dragons. They're going to up the series like they did with Game of Thrones. Time jumps and changes. I don't see. In the Game of Thrones, there was not much character changing. In the House of Dragon, you can see the actresses changing because of the timeline. I see that same thing going on with the 7 Kingdoms. But again, thoughts, premises, premonitions. What do you think? Tell me how you feel. How you feeling about the situation? I'm just rambling and talking, and man, just shut up. Just shut up. Oh my God, how did you get so close? Anyway, yo, son, yo, Absolute Batman. We're going to discuss that tomorrow. Yes, where we went. And he met, yes, what I say. I said he met Absolute Wonder Woman. And apparently, during one of her episodes, there was an incident, the way they got connected, where he got an emblem, where he was able to summon Wonder Woman to help his friend. You know what? We're getting into it, and I got alarms going on in the back, and I don't care because the music is pumping up in here. You know what we do. Because if you see your man's in the street singing with me, hit him with the beats. Hit him with a jingle jangle, baby. Jingle jangle. Like, subscribe, share, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Let's go.
Caught in the crossfire.